we are going to ask for is that same scope that you're speaking about completing the rest of the job, must be also shared with us as the NCOP. We want to see each and every process that's going to unfold from this particular day onwards in relation to this particular property being finished. Anyeke bafethu asali we are slow, maybe asifundanga angisho asifundanga sange esikoleni, but everything ngizosiqhatha as iparliament is completely wrong. You can't cite a protest as reasons for why this thing is not completed when there have been no protests. The ward councillor will even concede what I'm saying. There have been no protests that have stopped the contractors from accessing the space, that have stopped them from continuing with construction. That is a blatant lie, and you can't lie to Parliament. You cannot lie to Parliament, and we must not allow it, because it's going to set a very dangerous precedent that we're going to keep on doing oversight, and they're going to keep lying to us. Nobody, I see Moshagile, like what he's saying in the end. I respect what you have to say at the end. To say we concede that it could have been done. It's not been done, and we'll try to do what? Consequence management. But to justify it is absolutely unacceptable. Comrades, it's enough. It's enough now. Legele bafethu legele. Ufedile. Fetsa mmereko bana ba tsena creche. Bonkgono ba tle daycare ya bona.
Amen.
He batho. You want to eat again? 25 million again. 30 million again. I bafethu ningasiqhathi. And I'm speaking because there's a constituency we represent. I will not be silenced because you're uncomfortable with what I'm saying. We are not here to represent you. We are representing those people outside there. Those children who are sitting at home with no early childhood development because what's going to happen with retention? What's going to happen with workers and how they're going to be paid moving onwards? Are you calling the Aguna COVID 2 months anti-stable, Aguna protest anti-stable, Nina Jennifer Bafet. Nina, you want to put your money in this Aximalian yet. And I'm speaking like this because of Funingene and this is on there. And you must hate us so much that you just finish this project and get it over and done with. That's what must happen. Stop lying to Parliament.
I hope most political parties can take a lesson from what EFF is doing. EFF has created itself a brand of being on the ground. In other words, taking care of the people, holding people accountable, holding councillors accountable, mayors, governors, companies, and everybody else accountable. So they've created themselves a brand. That is why you can even believe that Economic Freedom Fighters is the largest political party in South Africa. Or maybe you can think is the second largest political party in South Africa by the way they are holding these companies accountable. I wish other political parties or other leaders can do the very same thing. In other words, if we can work together to hold these people accountable, then they can be a success. But here is the thing. Most of these political parties only become famous during elections. Right now, then you can tell that on social media, people are always criticizing EFF, saying they are 9%ers. But when you analyze the situation, you can even think that EFF is maybe a second largest political party in South Africa by the way they do things. And they are not just starting now. They started when they were initiated, when they started this organization many years ago. We saw them in Marikana, we saw them in Alex, we saw them in many areas. We even saw them in Limpopo where those uncivilized guys disappeared those innocent women in Limpopo. We saw them demonstrating. We saw them attending courts. We saw them in many areas, and we still see them even today. So sometimes people dislike EFF not based on policies, but based on feelings and opinions. But here's the thing. You can learn. You can take some lessons from them and learn how to hold these people accountable. Because if we don't hold these people accountable, there's going to be a problem. Please bear in mind, I'm talking about EFF, but not on behalf of EFF or not on behalf of Economic Freedom Fighters. I know that there's no political party that is perfect, but here is the thing. These people are always everywhere, except maybe in few areas. And I still wish that other councillors of EFF can also learn in other areas, because in some areas it's like those councillors are not like as strong as other councillors of EFF. But I wish they can learn and improve. And I still wish other political parties can also wake up and do the same thing, or other leaders or community leaders can wake up and do the same thing. They should not only come to the community when they think it's necessary for them to market themselves on the community, or to market themselves to the community. And I like what the honorable member of EFF has done here by holding these tenderpreneurs accountable. Because when I talk about tenderpreneurs, my heart sings. Because I know that many tenderpreneurs don't care. Many tenderpreneurs are trapped. Many tenderpreneurs are captured. Here is the thing. When it comes to doing a job, for an example, let's say maybe you're going to fix a road, maybe a distance of about 1 kilometer. You have to fix the potholes. You have to fix this road. You have to do maybe everything on this road. Then you have to draft a BOQ, bill of quantities. So in other words, on the bill of quantities, you have to include everything, all the measurements, all the requirements, all the things that you are going to need to fix this road. But the problem is, when you start making your budget, the moment you get the tender, now on your budget, you have to add certain people that you didn't add on that bill of quantities. In other words, you have to add individuals who won't do anything, who won't help with anything. In other words, you have to help them. Why? Because they helped you. In that way, as long as these people did not appear on the bill of quantities, it's going to be impossible for you to complete the job. Because on the bill of quantities, your friends are not appearing. In order for you to finish this job, in order for you to complete this job, everything lies on the bill of quantities. That is why most of these tenderpreneurs, they don't finish the job. They don't finish the job because all the time now they have to squeeze. They have to try by all means to squeeze, because they have to squeeze their friends on their budget. Then at the end of the day, they end up not like finishing the job. And in that process of squeezing, who suffers? The infrastructure. The infrastructure suffers, is the first thing that will suffer. And the second thing that will suffer, the employees. You have to rob the employees now. You have to try by all means to rob the employees, because you want to squeeze your friends. You want to squeeze everybody else. That's the problem. That is why they don't finish the job. Now another budget has to be made. Another budget has to be made. Another budget has to be made, because every time they get a job, it's not only about the bill of quantities. It's not only about the bill of quantities. There are people who should be added in that budget. There are people who have to be added in that budget, but they cannot add these people on the bill of quantities, because in most cases, these bill of quantities will be inspected. So other people can tell that, no, man, is like, here you are lying. So that is why they cannot add their friends on a bill of quantities. So if you didn't add your friends on the bill of quantities, there's no way you can complete the job. It's going to be impossible for you to complete the job. And in that situation, they need someone who will hold them accountable and stop giving these people jobs, and like stop corruption and stop all these other things. So I believe that every leader should act like this. If leaders can act like this, maybe corruption will come down. Maybe these people will regain that conscience to say, we cannot play with people because others will hold us accountable. But if everyone is silent and corrupt, then there's a problem. So right now, as we speak, there are many projects all over South Africa. They are stuck. They are waiting for a budget. Then the budget will come. Then they'll work for maybe 2 months, 3 months. Then they eat. Then they run out of money. They have to stop. Then the same process has to start all over again.